The supply chain for chicken eggs. Although we don't have exact records when the consumption of eggs started, it is believed that they have been around as long as human population. Due to their high protein content, even nomad populations used to consume them from a diversity of animals in nests. Furthermore, their consumption started to become more common once hens had been domesticated around 3200 BC in East India and later in Egypt and China. Nowadays, production has changed completely. Since the 1900s, our production methods started to revolutionize. As selling eggs became more profitable, some farms started building up flocks of about 400 hens in backyard systems. However, in the late 1940s, some poultry researchers had favorable results with raised wire-floored housing for eggs. The separated wire housing came to be called the cage system, and California farmers quickly put the research into practice. As stated before, our consumption of eggs is mainly due to the high protein content they have and the nutritional values they provide to consumers, taking into account the relatively cheap price. But most importantly, eggs are a source of the 9 essential amino acids that the human body cannot produce. They are also considered beneficial because they can be enriched with omega-3, a essential fatty acid that the body cannot synthesize, which helps to regulate blood clotting. Another important aspect is that the eggs provide uh, all of the essential vitamins that we need except for vitamin C. For the given reasons, our demand for eggs is constantly growing, and a 2.4 kg per person per year consumption increase is expected by 2030. The most growing egg market right now is Asia, where it is estimated that 67% of the demand will come from, especially in China, where the consumption is expected to be more than double than developing countries. The supply side of our story will be mainly fulfilled by developing countries, where they can expect to have a production of 76% of the total world production, by reaching a production of 69 million metric tons of eggs.
This is how eggs are produced from laying hens. First, the hatchery must produce hens. These hens are then placed in an egg production facility. There are three main types of egg production methods: caged eggs, free range, and free run. Once the eggs are collected, they are graded based on quality and classified based on size or weight. Finally, the eggs are distributed to wholesalers, sold through retail, or shipped to a processing plant where the eggs are used to make processed foods. Caged eggs are simply eggs collected from hens, kept in battery cages, and are the cheapest of all egg production methods. Caged eggs also account for over 90% of eggs produced in Canada. Free-range and free-run eggs are more expensive due to higher production costs. Free-range eggs means the hens are kept indoors most of the time, but are allowed outdoors if the weather permits. Free-run eggs are produced from hens kept indoors. These hens are allowed to roam freely in a given area. There are two grades of eggs in Canada, Grade A and B. Grade A eggs are table eggs, or the eggs which are normally sold at supermarkets for direct consumption. Grade B eggs are of lower quality, which are separated in a grading process. These eggs have cracks or blood spots and are used in making processed foods or carton eggs. Only Grade A eggs are further classified by weight. There are 6 sizes which are commonly used in North America, ranging from peewee to jumbo, with a difference in 7 grams in between each class. There are three main branches of the egg distribution chain. There are wholesalers who buy from grading facilities, retailers and farms that sell direct to consumers, and processing facilities which purchase grade B eggs as an ingredient for their product. Egg prices in Canada vary with farming practice due to increased labor and additional costs. For free-range eggs, additional labor and infrastructure is needed to allow hens to go outdoors. Another common method of adding value to eggs is by feeding hens with flaxseed rations to increase the omega-3 content of the egg yolks.
The Grade B eggs are transported to the federally registered processing establishment in Canada. At the establishment, various versions of eggs, such as liquid, frozen, powder versions, or the type of egg such as yolk and egg white are produced. Initially, the egg white and yolk are separated, pasteurized for minimal bacterial growth, and frozen or dried for different delivery mechanisms of egg. Lastly, the final egg product is packaged to be distributed to retailers, restaurants, and other industrial factories. At these next-level company-owned processing factories, eggs are used for the development of different products such as ice cream, bread, and many more. Values added to egg. With such additional processing done, producers may add extra ingredients into eggs to improve egg characteristics such as its nutritional value, flavor, and texture. For instance, liquid eggs can have added vitamins, minerals, and enriched of proteins. As for chemical additives or preservatives, they can be added into egg or commercial food development from egg to extend their shelf life. Variety. With different processing applications, more diverse range of food is available to customers. Demand and supply trend over time. With the current technological development, new and more advanced equipments are built to increase either the supply size or productivity. As for the egg production, they eliminated seasonality. In more extreme and harsh environment during winter, egg production decreases. However, with the artificial lighting, heating system, and humidity control machinery, the farmers can provide the ideal condition for hens to lay egg all year round. This increases the quantity supplied and the quality of the egg produced. Also, since the new machinery can control many variables, they provide convenience to producers, lowering the labor level required. Therefore, this leads to a decrease in price of production. Structured supply management system. With more structured egg production and collection system, a more precise and detailed data analysis on supply can be executed. From this, the suppliers can manipulate the quantity of eggs supplied to the market and attempt to control the market price. In such way, the price of egg will remain relatively stable and inelastic to changes. Thus, the egg market is generally insensitive to both external and internal variables, and egg can be supplied and demanded in equilibrium.
Looking at the supply graphs shown here in the units per thousand, suppliers have overall increased in supplying eggs in the past 10 to 12 years. In the quantity supplied graph on the left, it can be seen that in 2004, the production of eggs was about 550,000 eggs, while closer to date, in 2018, it has changed to 700,000 eggs. A slight decrease in supplied eggs is also seen, particularly in year 2010, while rising again in 2011 onward. In the graph on the right, the price of egg production annually has increased from $550,000 to about $1,100,000 within a span of 11 years, and a more plateaued price between the years 2007 and 2009. On the other side of the market are the consumers, essentially demanders of the eggs, such as grocery stores or fast food restaurants, to further process the eggs. The lower demand graph shows that the overall eggs have been consumed at an increasing rate consistently. The top demand graph indicates that the price of eggs have increased overall from approximately $2.60 per dozen of eggs to about $3.40 per dozen. The price was fairly inconsistent as it increased drastically from 2011 to 2012, then remained fairly consistent, and then there were two major drops in 2016 and 2018. As seen through the graphs, it is evident that supply and demand for the graphs fluctuated over the years. One of the reasons for increasing supply is that there is an increase for demand, thus the suppliers need to supply more to meet the demand. Moreover, people are now showing more interest in health. In the past, the primary concern for us was to have shelter, food, and water to ensure survival. Canada has moved forward greatly, and now we can focus more on the quality of each of those aspects. Health is something of high value, as it often determines your quality of life. Lastly, the prices of eggs have increased likely because of the increase in demand, and also to adjust for the dollar value. After all, a dollar today is worth more than a dollar tomorrow.
In all the changes and stages of the chicken egg industry, the government is looked to oversee the process. Both provincial and federal government have a role to play in ensuring that the eggs are delivered to consumers in an orderly and safe manner, along with controlling the market from outside competition. In provincial government, Regulation 171/10, Food Safety and Quality Act of 2001, is responsible for regulating the sale of, transport, and grading of eggs in Ontario. The strict guidelines for defining what makes an edible and inedible egg are defined, and inedible eggs are prohibited from use. It also maintains strict record keeping, which is useful in determining statistics and quotas for next year. And the government, read well, has the Safe Food for Canadians Regulation Act, which is more broad, but also defines what should be in place for determining the safety of food, such as the egg grading system. It also controls import and export of eggs. Now, the Egg Farmers of Canada is the overall national agency in Canada which controls the production and marketing of eggs. They are run by a council with 10 provincial members, along with a territorial representative from Northwest Territories. They have a variety of responsibilities, from controlling the production of eggs to the transportation and marketing of them. Perhaps their base influence is over the quota allocations, a major part of the Canadian egg industry. They're the largest national organization in Canada in relation to egg farming. The purposes of these organizations is quite clear: protect consumer health and increase trust within the egg industry, while also allowing producers to benefit from government protections. Regulations around eggs which are suitable for human consumption reduces cases of salmonella or other similar diseases, saving both public tax dollars on medical expenses and also bolstering trust in the egg industry. Egg grading, as seen below, determines the final fate of eggs in the production line and goes hand in hand with those decisions to which are to be for direct consumption or not. Finally, the EFC sets quotas to help give the Canadian egg industry a boon, as Canada is a small economy relative to the world stage. Specific quota values determine the price of eggs, which influence supply and demand curves greatly and can change from year to year in order to remain flexible. Hence, it all goes back to the values and trend in supply and demand, controlled by government regulations to support Canadian egg farmers. With all the objects containing egg or egg product in the market today, it is incredible to think about the complexity behind it all. And yet, it is all there, making sure those eggs get to your plate. Perhaps that could be your brain food for tonight. Thank you for listening.